Daf Yomi, Daf Yomi, Daf Yomi, Tractate Shevuot, page 26a, top of the page with the words Rav Papa said, one of those statements not about him. Rabbi Yishmael Omer, Eino Chayav Ela al Ha'atid Lavo. Tanu Rabbanan Lehora Oleheitiv Eini Ela Dvarim Sheyesh Bahen Hara Ve'atava Shein Bahem Hara Ve'atava Minayin Tamad Loimal Oy Nefesh Ki Tishava Libate Bisfatayim. The Mishnah teaches that Rabbi Yishmael says one is liable only for an oath on an utterance taken about the future. The sages taught in a Braita with regard to an oath on an utterance from the verse, or if anyone take an oath clearly with his lips to do evil or to do good. Leviticus 5:4. I have derived only that one is liable for an oath on an utterance with regard to matters to which doing evil and doing good apply. From where do I derive that one is liable for an oath on an utterance with regard to matters to which doing evil and doing good do not apply? The verse states, or if anyone take an oath clearly with his lips, which includes other matters. Eli ela le'aba, v'she'avar minayin tamad lomar, l'chol asher yivateh adam b'shvuah. Divrei Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yishmael Omer, Lehara o Lehetiv, Lehaba. I have derived only that one is liable for oaths referring to the future. From where do I derive that one is liable for oaths referring to the past? The verse subsequently states, whatsoever it be that a man shall utter clearly with an oath, Leviticus 5:4. This is the statement of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yishmael says the verse states to do evil or to do good, referring exclusively to oaths about the future. Amar lo Rabbi Akiva, im ken, ein li ela devarim sheyesh bahen hatava ve'hara'ah. Devarim she'ein bahem hara ve'atava minayin. Amar lo meribuy hakasuv. Amar lo im riba hakasuv lekach. Riba hakasuv lekach. The Braita continues. Rabbi Akiva. The Braita continues. Amar lo Rabbi Akiva, im ken, ein li ela devarim sheyesh bahem hatavera, devarim she'ein bahem hara ve'atava minayin. Amar lo meribuy hakasuv. Amar lo im riba hakasuv lekach, riba hakasuv lekach. The Braita continues, Rabbi Akiva said to him, if so, then I have derived only that one is liable for an oath on an utterance with regard to matters to which doing evil and doing good apply. From where do I derive that one is liable for an oath on an utterance with regard to matters to which doing evil and doing good do not apply? Rabbi Yishmael said to Rabbi Akiva in response, it is derived from an amplification of the meaning of the verse. Rabbi Akiva said to him, if the verse is amplified for this, meaning to extend the halacha of an oath on an utterance to matters that do not involve doing good or evil, the verse is amplified for that, meaning oaths about the paths. Shapir ka amar le Rabbi Akiva Rabbi Yishmael. The more questions. Rabbi Akiva said well his critique of the opinion of Rabbi Yishmael. Why does Rabbi Yishmael disagree? Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yishmael shimesh et Rabbi Nechunye ben Hakana shehoye doiresh es kol ha'toyer kula bichlal uprat Ihu nami doiresh bichlal ufrat. Rabbi Akiva sheshimesh et Nachum ish gamzu. Shahaya doiresh et kol zer kula beribo umiut. Ihu nami doiresh ribo umiut. Rabbi Yochanan said it is because Rabbi Shmuel was the one who served as a disciple of Rabbi Nechuni ben Hakana, who would interpret the entire Torah with the hermeneutical principle of a generalization and a detail. Therefore, Rabbi Shmuel also interprets the Torah with the method of a generalization and a detail. Rabbi Akiva was the one who served as a disciple of Nachum ish Gamzu, who would interpret the entire Torah with the hermeneutical principle of amplification and restriction. Therefore, Rabbi Akiva also interprets the Torah by amplification and restriction. My Rabbi Akiva darash ribo yemute d'Tanya oy nefesh ki tzishava ribo le'ra le'hetiv mi'et lechol asher Yivate Adam. Chazal v'riba. Riba umiyat v'riba kol. What is the specific instance in this context where one finds that Rabbi Akiva interprets with amplifications and restrictions? It is, as it is taught in a Braita, that when the verse states, or if anyone take an oath clearly with his lips, Leviticus 5:4, it amplifies the range of possible oaths for which one could be liable to bring an offering for an oath on an utterance. When the verse continues to do evil or to do good, it restricts that range. When it further continues, whatsoever it be, that a man shall utter clearly with an oath, it then amplifies again, according to the hermeneutical principle that when a verse amplified, and then it restricted, and then it amplified the relevant category to include everything except for the specific matter that was excluded by the restriction. My riba kol mileh, my miyet devar mitzvah. What was included when the verse amplified the range of liability? It amplified to include all matters about which one might take an oath. And in what way did it restrict when it continued to do evil or to do good? It restricted the range of liability for an oath on an utterance to exclude an oath that is a matter involving a mitzvah, meaning an oath to refrain from performing a mitzvah. I thought that would be batal anyway. Okay, anyway. Rabbi Shmuel the Darash Klal Prat. Oy nefesh ki tishav lebate bisvasayim klal le'ra or le'hetiv. Prat. Lechol asher yivate Adam. Chazal v'chalal. Chalal u'prat u'klal. Iya tadan ela ke'en ha'prat. Ma ha'prat mifoirash. Lehaba afkol lehaba. Rabbi Yishmael interprets the verse following the hermeneutical principle of a generalization and a detail. Or, if anyone take an oath clearly with his lips, Leviticus 5:4 is a generalization. To do evil or to do good is a detail. Whatsoever it be that a man shall utter clearly with an oath, the verse then further generalized. There is a hermeneutical principle that when a verse contains a generalization and a detail, and another generalization, you may deduce that the verse is referring only to items similar to the detail. Just as the detail in the verse is explicitly an oath referring to the future, so too all the oaths for which one is liable must be referring to the future. Ahani klala le'asoye afilu dvarim she'ein bohem. הרעב יצא להבא, ההני פרטה למאותי, אפילו דברים שיש בין הרעב יצא לשעבר. The generalization serves to include even those matters that do not concern doing evil or doing good when they refer to the future. The detail serves to exclude even matters that concern doing evil or doing good when they refer to the past. Eibach ana. The Gemara challenges, I will reverse it and say that the generalization serves to include oaths concerning the past, and the detail serves to exclude matters that do not involve doing evil or doing good. Why is that not an equally legitimate interpretation of the verse? Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Dum yad lehora uleheitiv, mi she'isur mishum bal yacher levaro, yatzat zo she'en isur mishum bal yacher levaro, ela mishum bal tishageru. Rabbi Yitzchak said that Rabbi Ishmael understands that liability is extended to one whose oath is similar to an oath to do evil or to do good. Leviticus 5:4. He whose prohibition is due to the verse, he shall not break his word, Numbers 30, verse 3, is liable, as liability for an oath about the future entails breaking one's word. Excluded is that oath whose prohibition is not due to the verse, he shall not break his word. Rather, it is due to the verse, you shall not lie. Leviticus 19:11. Since liability for an oath about the past applies when the oath itself was a lie. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avin, reminding me of Yitzchak bar Avin. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avin. Anyway, Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avin Amar Kro, Oy nefesh ki yitzi shava levatei b'tzvosayim. Mi she'ashvua kodem es lebitui, ולא שהביטוי קודם אז לשבוע. יצא זה אכלתי ולא אכלתי. שהמעשה קודם לשבוע. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avin says that there is a different explanation to Rabbi Yishmael's opinion. The verse states, or, if anyone take an oath clearly with his lips, to do evil or to do good, referring to one whose oath precedes its clarification, meaning the action that breaks it, and not to one who takes an oath where clarification, meaning the action prohibited in the oath precedes the oath. Excluded is that oath where one said, for example, I ate or I did not eat, where the action precedes the oath. Tanu Abanan, Hadam Yeshua, Pchat Lanus, Venelam Pchat Lemezid. The sages taught in Bright, the verse states, or if anyone take an oath clearly with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be, then a man shall utter clearly with an oath, and that is hidden from him, and when he knows of it, be guilty in one of these things. Leviticus 5:4. The phrase "a man" with an oath serves to exclude a victim of circumstances beyond his control from liability to bring an offering. The term "and is hidden" serves to exclude from liability one who broke his oath intentionally, as he does not deserve to be able to achieve atonement through bringing an offering. And where were we? Right. Mimenu shenis'al mimenu shvua yachar shenis'al mimenu chavetz. We did it already. The sages taught in Bright, the verse says, anyone takes an oath clearly with his lips to do evil or good whatsoever it be, that a man shall utter clearly with an oath, and it is hidden from him, and when he knows of it, be guilty of one of these things. Leviticus 5:4. The phrase "a man" with an oath serves to exclude the victim's circumstances beyond his control from liability to bring an offering. The term "and is hidden" serves to exclude from liability one who broke his oath intentionally, as he does not deserve to be able to achieve atonement through bringing an offering. Mimenu shenis'al mimenu shvua yochel shenis'al mimenu chavetz. Tam lo yimal b'shvua v'ne'elam. Al helem shvua hu chayav al helem chavetz. The Braita continues, the term "from him" teaches that one who was unaware of his oath meaning he forgot it and subsequently broke it, is liable to bring an offering. One might have thought that an oath taker is also liable when he broke an oath because he was unaware that a particular item is forbidden as the object of his oath. Therefore, the verse states with an oath, and that is hidden from him, he is liable for lack of awareness of the oath, but he is not liable for lack of awareness of the object of the oath. The Master says above in the Braita, the phrase "amen" with an oath serves to exclude a victim of circumstances beyond his control. The Gemara asks, what are such circumstances? K'derav kahana v'ravasi, ki rav u'kamin m'kamei derav, mar omar Shevuos d'hachi amarav, mar omar Shevuos d'hachi amarav. Ki atu d'kamin derav, amar kechad minayu, amar lei, yidach. Oh, this is what I was thinking about. I was thinking about this Gemara. Someone were arguing about what Rav said, and they said, I swear this is what it's like. And he said, I swear. They both swore. So someone swore a lie. Yikes. Down. The Gemara answers, it is as it was with Rav Kahan and Rav Asi, who, when they were standing up in the presence of Rav, their teacher, at the conclusion of a lesson, disagreed with regard to exactly what he said. One sage said, on my oath, Rav said like this. And the other sage said, on my oath, Rav said like that. Someone was lying here. When they came before Rav to clarify what he stated his opinion in accordance with what one of them had said. The other said to Rav, did I then take a false oath? Amar le libach anasach. Rav said to him, your heart compelled you. It is not regarded as a false oath, since at the time you took the oath, you were certain that you were telling the truth. He could have said, this is what I heard. From that day forward, he always said, this is what I heard. Did I take a false oath? Yes, you took a false oath. He said your heart. So what's the false oath? Maybe you want. Rob didn't say he didn't take a false oath. He just says lipach anasach. He just said your heart took you. V'nela mimenu shenitela mimenu shvua yachal shesam mimenu chafetz. Talmud lo imal. Let us continue. Down. Vanilla management, Shinazali management, Yahoshua management, Tamalovish for an element of all the elements for Bihaya, Venachaiva, and Chavis. Wow, this is a long daf, man. We didn't even finish the first Amud yet. Dang! Okay, let's go. The Bible teaches the phrase "and it is hidden from him" teaches that one who was unaware of his oath, forgot it, and subsequently broke it is liable to bring an offering. One might have thought that the oath taker is also liable when he broke the oath because he was unaware that a particular item is forbidden as the object of his oath. Therefore, the verse states, with an oath, and it is hidden from him. He is liable for a lack of awareness of the oath, but he is not liable for a lack of awareness of the object of the oath. Okay? Machatu alei b'marava b'shlomo shvua b'shkachas la b'lo chafetz kigon dirma shvua shelo chet paschitin uchesavo sheocher kamo דשבועתיים חפצה דחיו ולחפץ בלא שבועה יחידני. They laughed at this in the West, Eretz Israel, and said, granted, You find a lack of awareness of one's oath without there being a lack of awareness of the object of the oath. And in a case where one said, "On my oath I will not eat wheat bread," and he thought that he had said, "I will eat wheat bread," as in that case his oath is forgotten and the object of it is remembered. But under what circumstances is there a case of lack of awareness of the object of the oath without lack of awareness of the oath itself? Kigon, Delma, Shevuos shelo ochel pat chitin, uchesavo shel se'oerim, kama deshwoted nefile, chavsayin neshe, kevan dechavsayin shelehu, hainu helem shvua. The Gemara suggests it can be found in a case where he said, "On my oath, I will not eat wheat bread," and he thought that he had said, "On my oath, I will not eat barley bread," as in that case, his oath is remembered by him and the object is forgotten. The Gemara rejects the suggestion. Once the object of the oath is forgotten by him, that is a case of lack of awareness of his oath. Ella, Amar Rabbi Elazar, David Arasi. Rather, Rabbi Elazar said the distinction made in the Braita between lack of awareness of one's oath and lack of awareness of the object of one's oath is not valid. And both this and that are one and the same. Maskiv level Yosef, al machapetz velo shvua lo mishkachas la, v'hamishkachas la tigon no mashvua shelo ochel pat chitin, v'hoshit yadom nasar litol pat so'irin. V'yaldem yado shel chitin uchesavo so'irin hi ve'achala. Deshwatnei techir lech hatzahu telo yadaleh. Rav Yosef objects to this. Rav Yosef is composed of Hasim Gematria is Mashiach 358. But you find in a case where he said, "On my oath I will not eat wheat bread," and he extended his hand to the basket to take barley bread, and wheat bread came up in his hand, and he thought it was barley bread and ate it. That is a case where his oath is remembered by him, and it is the object of the oath of which he is unaware. Okay, Rabbi Yosef objects to this. Let's see this again. Let's see this over again. Nachal. Is it really the case that you do not find a case of lack of awareness of the object of an oath without lack of awareness of the oath? But you find it in a case where he said, "On my oath I will not eat wheat bread," and he extended his hand to the basket to take barley bread, and wheat bread came up in his hand. And he thought it was barley bread and ate it. That is a case where his oath is remembered by him, and it is the object of the oath of which he is unaware. Amalei Abaye, Klum mechayvos lekorban, elamayim tvis b'yadei elam shvahihu. Abaye said to him, "Don't you deem him liable to bring an offering for breaking his oath, only for that which he holds in his hand and eats? When he eats the bread, that is lack of awareness of the oath, since he thinks that the item in his hand is permitted." Lishnachina amalei Abaye Rav Yosef sof sof korban dekamais yalei de'aipas mihas helem shvuahu. The Gemara presents another formulation of this statement. Abaye said to Rav Yosef, ultimately, the offering he brings for this bread is in any event due to lack of awareness of the oath, as he thinks that the item in his hand is permitted. Rav Yosef Amar Lach Kevan Lechiyadale Techitinu And Rav Yosef could say to you, since were he to know of it, that it is wheat bread, he would refrain from eating it. This should be regarded as a case of a lack of awareness of the object. Vitel, nine. Rav Yosef Amalach. Rav Yosef could say to you, Rav Yosef could say to you, since were he to know of it, that it is wheat bread, he would refrain from eating it. This should be regarded as a case of lack of awareness of the object. Rava asked of Rav Nachman in a case where one has a lack of awareness of this, the oath, and that, its object, what is the halacha? Rav Nachman said to him, he breaks the oath while having a lack of awareness of the oath, and is therefore liable. Rava replied, on the contrary, he has a lack of awareness of the object of the oath, and should therefore be exempt. Amar Ravashi chazinani machmas Shevuos kaparish harehem Shevuos b'yado b'chayav imachmas chafetz kaparish harehem chafetz b'yado b'chayam. Ravashi said, we see, if he refrains from eating due to the oath, meaning when he is reminded that he took an oath, he had a lack of awareness of the oath and it is liable. If he refrains due to the object of the oath, meaning when he is reminded what it is he is about to eat, he had a lack of awareness due to the object and is exempt. Ravina said to Ravashi, doesn't he refrain only from breaking the oath due to his recognition of the object? Doesn't he refrain from the object due only to the oath? In either case, he needs to remember both the oath and the object, and the manner in which he was reminded does not serve to indicate anything. Rather, there is no difference between the two. Rava asked Rav Nachman, and now we turn to Chaf Vav Amud Bet. Nice, it's a little bit shorter, but still not the shortest. Okay. 26b, top of the page with the words Ezo Hi Shigas Shua Bitui L'Shaval. What is the case of an unwitting oath on an utterance referring to the past, for which one is liable to bring an offering? If it is a case where one knows when he takes the oath that it is not true, then he is an intentional taker of a false oath and may not bring an offering. If it is a case where he did not know at the time of taking the oath that what was saying is not true, then he is a victim of circumstances beyond his control and is exempt from bringing an offering. Amar le be'omer yodeani sheshvuos asura aval en yodea im mechayvin alei korban olav. Rav Nachman said to him, in answer to his question, it is a case where the one taking the oath says, I know that taking this oath is prohibited, but I do not know if one is liable to bring an offering for it or not. Since he does not know the full implications of his action, it is regarded as unwitting, and he may still bring an offering to atone for it. Come on, moon baths. Moon baths! I don't remember having moon baths since Tractate Shabbat. Did he show up? He probably did, I just can't remember. I remember him in Shabbat, but I don't remember him anywhere else. Come on, moon baths. Damar, Shigas, Karban, Shema, Shigaga. Rava asked, but Nachman further, in accordance with whose opinion do you answer in this way? Is it in accordance with the opinion of moon baths, who says lack of intention with regard to the offering, meaning ignorance as to whether one's action renders one liable to bring an offering, is regarded as lack of intention? There is a dispute between moon baths and the rabbis in Tractate Shabbat. Sure enough, there it is, Shabbat 69a and b, with regard to one who knows that a particular action is desecrated Shabbat, but does not know that it renders one liable to bring a sin offering. Moon baths holds that even one who is merely ignorant of the liability to bring an offering is deemed as an unwitting sinner who brings a sin offering to atone. Even if he's doing it on purpose. But he didn't know that if it was by mistake, he should bring a sin offering. The rabbis disagree and deem him unwitting only if he's unaware that the action is prohibited or that it was Shabbat. Okay? Moon baths. Afilu, it reminds me of Les Moonves. Afilu tema Rabbanan, an kan lo pligi Rabbanan, ale de moon baths, ela bechol ha-Torah kula, dilav chidushu, aval hacha de chidushu, de bechol ha-Torah kula, lo ha-shachan lav de maisi korban. Rav Nachman explains, you may even say that this explanation accords with the opinion of the rabbis. The rabbis disagree with the opinion of moon baths only with regard to all typical cases in the entire Torah for which one is liable to bring a sin offering, where that liability is not a novelty. But here, with regard to oaths, it could be said that bringing a sin offering is a novelty, since there is a principle that we do not find in the entire Torah, another example of a simple prohibition for which one brings an offering for its unwitting violation. Dialfina me'avodah zareh, v'hacha maisi afilu Rabbanan moidu. Rav Nachman continues, the reason for this principle is that we derive for which prohibitions one brings a sin offering from the prohibition of idol worship, where one is liable to receive karet for an intentional violation, and one is liable to bring a sin offering for an unwitting violation. And yet here, in the case of the oath, one brings a sin offering, even though intentional violation of the prohibition is not punishable by karet, given the novelty of the offering. For an oath on an utterance, even the rabbis would agree that ignorance of the fact that one performing an action for which the Torah legislates an offering is sufficient for one to be regarded as unwitting and liable to bring a sliding scale offering. Boy minei Ravina merabe nishba al kika umistaken alemau. Ravina asked Rava, if one took an oath concerning a certain loaf, an oath concerning a loaf, Olaf, rendering himself prohibited from eating it, and later his life is in danger due to his not eating it, what is the halacha? Is he liable to bring an offering in atonement for eating it? Mistaken l'shtele b'mal Mistaken ishchelema lemitztal v'achla b'shgar b'shua mayim. Rav responded, if his life is in danger, let the master permit him to eat, as saving a life overrides the prohibition. He is considered a victim of circumstances beyond his control, and does not need to atone at all. Ravina said, rather, the question is this: with regard to one who is suffering from hunger, and who ate unwittingly, meaning he forgot the prohibition generated by the oath, although had he known he would have eaten this loaf of bread intentionally due to his hunger, what is the halacha? Amar le tanina shav min yedato mevin kolban al shigigaso lo shav min yaso ein mevi kolban al shigigaso. Rava said to him, we learn in a Braita, one who, had he known that his action was prohibited, would have withdrawn from sinning due to his knowledge, brings an offering for his unwitting sin. But one who would not have withdrawn from sinning due to his knowledge does not bring an offering for his unwitting sin. Since he would have eaten anyway, he does not bring an offering. Amar Shmuel, Gamar Melibo, Shmuel says, even after one decided to take an oath, he needs to express it with his lips for it to take effect, as it is stated in the verse. Or, if anyone take an oath clearly with his lips, to do evil or to do good. Leviticus 5:4. Meisvei bisposain velo balev gamav lima minai tamel loimal lechol hashevate adam Yehoshua. The Gemara raises an objection from a Braita. The verse states that one takes an oath with his lips, but not with his heart. From where is it derived that one who decided in his heart to take an oath is liable to bring an offering for an oath on an utterance? The verse states, whatsoever it be that a man shall express with an oath, Leviticus 5:4. Hagufa kashya amart bisfasayim v'lo balev adar amart gemar v'limo minayim. The Gemara points out, this Braita is difficult in itself. You said with his lips, but not with his heart. And then you said, from where is it derived that one who decided in his heart to take an oath is liable? There it seems to be a contradiction within the Braita concerning the halacha, where one did not express the oath. Amar Rav Sheishes, Halo in kashya, hochi kama v'sosayim, v'lo gamar b'libo, lehotzi, misfatav lehotzi, gamar b'libo staminayim, tamalom v'nechol asher yivateh. Rav Sheshet said, this is not difficult. This is what the Braita is saying. One takes an oath with his lips, and does not take an oath when he merely decided in his heart to express with his lips, but has as yet actually expressed the oath verbally. From where is it derived that one who simply decided in his heart to take an oath without the intention of stating it with his lips is liable? The verse states, whatsoever it be that a man shall express with an oath, Leviticus 5:4. Amar l'Shmuel kashya, the Gemara challenges, but according to the opinion of Shmuel, this Braita nevertheless poses a difficulty, as it indicates that an oath that was not expressed verbally takes effect. Amar Sheishes, Taritz ve'mar v'zosayim, v'lo shegamar b'libo, yoytzi pas nitin, lehotzi pas soyerin. Gamar b'libo, lehotzi pas nitin, lehotzi pas staminayim, tameloim b'lchol asher yivateh adam. Rav Sheshet said, resolve the difficulty and say the Braita like this. One takes an oath with his lips, but does not take an oath, where he decided in his heart to express an oath prohibiting wheat bread, and he instead expressed an oath about barley bread, from where it is derived that he is liable, where he decided in his heart to express an oath about wheat bread, and express his oath about bread without specifying. The verse states, whatsoever it be that a man shall express with an oath. The Gemara raises an objection to the opinion of Shmuel from Braita. The verse states, that which is gone out of your lips you shall observe and do, according as you have vowed freely to the Lord your God, even that which you have promised with your mouth. Deuteronomy 23:24. From here I have derived only a case in which he expresses with his lips. From where do I derive a case where he decided only in his heart? The verse states, in the context of the contributions to the building of the tabernacle, and they came, both men and women, as many as were willing-hearted, and brought nose rings and earrings, and signet rings, and girdles, and all jewels of gold. Exodus 35:22. The fact that the verse describes those who contributed as willing-hearted indicates that one becomes liable via non-verbal decision. The Gemara answers there it's different, and by the contributions to the tabernacle is different, as is written, as many as were willing-hearted. This halacha is stated only in the context of contributions to the tabernacle, not in the context of oaths. The Gemara suggests, and let us learn from, in general, oaths can be taken via non-verbal decision. The Gemara rejects this. One cannot extrapolate from the fact that non-verbal consecrations to the temple or tabernacle were effective, because truma, which can be separated non-verbally, and donating and consecrated items are two verses that come as one, meaning they are both instances where non-verbal commitment is sufficient, and any two verses that come as one do not teach their common element to apply to other cases. The Gemara asks, this works out well according to the one who says that two verses that come as one do not teach their common element, but according to the one who says they do teach their common element, what can be said? The Gemara answers the two contexts here are non-sacred items, oaths and consecrated items, donations to the tabernacle, and truma, and we do not derive halachot concerning non-sacred items from halachot concerning consecrated items.